Hey pop shoppers, welcome to Ed Rambeau's little corner of the world.
You to me are sweet as roses in the morning. You to me are soft as summer rain at dawn, and love we share. That's something rare. The sidewalks in the street, the concrete and the clay beneath my feet begins to crumble, but love will never die, because we'll see the mountains.
Good evening, everyone. This is Ed Rambeau, and for the next half hour, you're all about to join me in my little corner of the world. So allow me to first shout out a great big welcome before announcing tonight's theme, Mishmash, which the dictionary describes as a motley assortment of things. Well, in this case, we're going to disregard the word motley and just say an assortment of things, musical genres in particular. Now, I've used this theme quite a bit lately, and I'm using it again tonight because it happens to be one of my personal favorite theme categories, in that it allows me to show my listening audience a very diversified aspect of my vocal ability. And it also has a bit of surprise element, which I hope you all enjoy. Therefore, let's kick off this evening's festivities with a song that falls into the disco category. Originally made famous in 1975 by the popular Motown group The Miracles, with Billy Griffin as lead vocalist, from my CD Rambeau on Fire, please enjoy my rendition of Love Machine.
I'm just a love machine, and I won't work for nobody but you. I'm just a love machine, a hug and kiss and fiend. I think it's high time you knew, whenever I think of you, my mind blows up views. When I look in your eyes, my meter starts to rise, and I become confused. My motor crank electric goes when I'm sitting next to you. Electricity starts to flow, and my indicator starts to grow. Whoa. I'm just a love machine, and I won't work for nobody but you. I'm just a love machine, a hug and kiss and fiend. La 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 la. I'm just a love machine, and I won't work for nobody but you. I'm just a love machine, a hug and kiss and fiend. I'm gentle as a lamb, I'm not that hard to program. There's no way that you can lose. Our chassis fit like a glove, I've got a button for love that you have got to use. If you look into my power, I am sure you can find out how to turn me on. Just set my dial and let me love you for a little while. Ooh. I'm just a love machine, and I won't work for nobody but you. I'm just a love machine, a hug and kiss and fiend. Whoa. La 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 la. I'm just a love machine, and I won't work for nobody but you. I'm just a love machine, I condition thrown it, a hug and kiss and fiend, a sex unit. I'm just a love machine, I condition thrown it, and I won't work for nobody but you. A sex unit. I'm just a love machine, I condition thrown it, a hug and kiss and fiend, a sex unit.
Love Machine, originally made famous by The Miracles. From disco, let's do a dramatic switch to a classic standard from the 30s, 1939 to be exact. With music by Jimmy Van Heusen and lyrics by Eddie DeLange, it was first introduced in the Broadway musical Swingin' the Dream, and it's called Darn That Dream.
Darn that dream I dream each night. You say you love me and you hold me tight. But when I awake, you're out of sight. Darn that dream. Darn your lips and darn your eyes. They lift me high above the moonlit skies. Then I tumble out of paradise. Oh, darn that dream. Darn that one-track mind of mine. It can't understand. You just don't care. Just to change the mood I'm in, I'd welcome a nice old nightmare. Darn that dream and bless it too. Without that dream I never would have you. But it haunts me and it won't come true. So darn that dream. That dream and bless it too. Without that dream I never would have you. But it haunts me and it won't come true. So darn that dream. That dream.
Darn That Dream, a classic standard from the 1930s. Switching now to country. From my CD Rambeau Countrified, I hope you enjoy this classic country song that also bridged the gap into the pop country market. Originally made famous by the one and only Skeeter Davis, here's my rendition of The End of the World.
Does the sun go on shining? Why does the sea rush to shore? Don't they know it's the end of the world? 'Cause you don't love me anymore. Why do the birds go on singing? Why do the stars glow above? Don't they know it's the end of the world? It ended when I lost your love. I wake up in the morning and I wonder why everything's the same as it was. I can't understand, no I can't understand how life goes on the way it does. Why does my heart go on beating? Why do these eyes of mine cry? Don't they know it's the end of the world? It ended when you said goodbye. Why does this heart go on beating? Why do these eyes of mine cry?
That was The End of the World from the pop country genre. This next song, in addition to being on my Sinatra My Way CD, since it falls into the category of jazz, it's also included on my Smooth and Jazzy CD. It's called Pennies from Heaven, and I hope you enjoy it.
Every time it rains, pennies from heaven. Don't you know each cloud contains pennies from heaven? You'll find your fortunes falling all over town. Be sure that your umbrella is upside down. Trade them for a package of sunshine and flowers. If you want the things you love, you must have showers. So when you hear it thunder, don't run under a tree. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and me. Il y a every time it rains pennies from heaven. Don't you know each cloud contains pennies from heaven? You'll find your fortune falling all over town. Just make sure that your umbrella is turned upside down. Trade them for a package of sunshine and flowers. If you want the things you love, you must have showers. So when you hear it thunder, don't run under a tree. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and for me.
That was Pennies from Heaven, and for those of you who may have just tuned in, you're listening to Ed Rambeau, and this is my little corner of the world on Good Time Oldies Radio. That's goodtimeoldies.info. Tonight's theme, Mishmash, denoting a mixture of musical genres. But would you look who's here, folks? It's America's favorite pussycat, the one and only Talking Tom. How's it going, little guy?
Little? I really don't appreciate being referred to as little.
Well, get over it. So what have you got for us tonight?
Well, I'm not too happy because just last week, Angelina and I got into this petty argument.
Petty?
Actually, I would call it petty, but to her it was Armageddon. You see, as is our nature, neither of us would admit the possibility that we might be in error. To her credit, Angelina finally said, "Look, I'll tell you what. I'll admit I'm wrong if you admit I was right." "Fine," I said. So, she looked me right in the eye and said, "Okay, I'm wrong." To which I grinned and replied, "You're right." Days later, when I woke up in the hospital, apparently I saw my wife and told her she looked beautiful. Then, about an hour later, I woke up again, and this time I told her she looked a mess. So, Angelina asked the vet why, when I woke up the first time, I called her beautiful. Then, when I woke up again, I told her she looked a mess. She wanted to know what happened to beautiful. And the vet told her, apparently the drugs wore off.
Say goodnight, Tom.
Good night, everybody. See you in 2 weeks. But for now, my catnip awaits.
Good night, Tom, and love to Angelina. Well, there you have it, folks. America's favorite pussycat, Talking Tom. Returning now to tonight's theme, Mishmash. From the Latin genre, found on my CD Rambeau, Brazil, please enjoy this song that was first recorded by Stan Getz as an instrumental in December of 1966. Burt Bacharach wrote the music, but later, Hal David added the lyrics, and the song was sung by English pop singer Dusty Springfield, which appeared in the 1967 James Bond film Casino Royale. In 2008, the song was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. It also received a Best Song nomination in the 1968 Academy Awards. Here's my version of The Look of Love.
The look of love is in your eyes, a look that time can't disguise. The look of love, it's saying so much more than just words could ever say. And what my heart has heard, well, it takes my breath away. I can hardly wait to hold you, feel my arms around you. How long I have waited, waited just to love you. Now that I found you, you've got the look of love. It's on your face, a look that time can't erase. Be mine tonight. Let this be just the start of so many nights like this. Let's take a lover's vow and then seal it with a kiss. I can hardly wait to hold you, feel my arms around you. How long I have waited, waited just to love you. Now that I found you, don't ever go. Don't ever go. No, don't ever go. Hear me talking when I tell you, don't you ever go away from me, baby. 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 Don't you ever go away from me, baby.
The Look of Love can be found on my CD, Rambeau, Brazil. From the Latin genre, let's move on to the genre known as pop classics. Originally made famous by the great Gladys Knight and the Pips, from my CD, From Rambeau with Love, here's my version of Neither One of Us.
It's sad to think we're not gonna make it, and it's gotten to the point where we just can't fake it. For some ungodly reason, we just won't let it die. guess neither one of us wants to be the first to say goodbye. I keep wondering what I'm gonna do without you. And I guess you must be wondering that same thing too. So we go on together, living our life, because neither one of us wants to be the first to say goodbye. Every time I find the nerve, every time I find the nerve to say I'm leaving. Oh, memories, those old memories get in my way. Oh, Lord knows it's only me. Oh, He knows it's only me that I'm deceiving. When it comes to saying goodbye, that's a simple word that I just cannot say. There can be no way, there can be no way this can have a happy ending. So we just go on hurting and pretending, and convincing ourselves to give it just one more try, because neither one of us wants to be the first to say it. Neither one of us wants to be the first to say it. No, neither one of us, baby, wants to be the first to say farewell, my love, goodbye.
Inspired by the wonderful Gladys Knight, that was my rendition of Neither One of Us. The next song actually fits into two genres. It started out as an all-time classic standard written by Irving Berlin in 1927, but was later thrown into the pop category by singer Taco in 1982, who released a synth-pop cover version, which is the version found on my CD entitled Rambeau Platinum. The song, Puttin On The Ritz.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? Putting on the Ritz. Different gowns are born a bevy of highbrows from on the levee, all misfits. Putting on the Ritz. That's where each and every little belle goes every Sunday evening with their swell bows, rubbing elbows. Come, let's mix with Rockefellers, walk with sticks and umbrellas in their midst. Putting on the Ritz, putting on the Ritz. you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? Putting on the Ritz. Different gowns are born a bevy of highbrows from down on the levee, misfits. Putting on the Ritz. That's where each and every little belle goes. Every Sunday evening with their swell bows, rubbing elbows. Come, let's mix with Rockefellers, walk with sticks and umbrellas in their mitts. Putting on the Ritz, putting on the Ritz. That's where each and every little belle goes. Every Sunday evening with their swell bows, rubbing elbows. Come, let's mix with Rockefellers, walk with sticks and umbrellas in their mitts. Putting on the Ritz, putting on the Ritz, putting on the Ritz, putting on the Ritz.
Puttin' on the Ritz brings us to our final selection for this evening, which without question fits into the genre known as Great Classic Standards. So please allow me to close the show with this incredible song entitled Prisoner of Love. Hope you enjoy it.
Alone from night to night, you'll find me too weak to break the chains that bind me. I need no shackles to remind me. I'm just a prisoner of love. For one command I stand and wait now, from one who's master of my fate now. I can't escape, 'cause it's too late now. I'm just a prisoner of love. What's the good of my caring if someone is sharing those arms with me? Although she has another, I can't have another, 'cause I'm not free. She's in my dreams, awake or sleeping. Upon my knees to her I'm creeping. My very life is in her keeping. I'm just a prisoner of love. What's the good of my caring if someone is sharing those arms with me? Although she has another, I can't have another, 'cause I'm not free. She's in my dreams, awake or sleeping. Upon my knees to her I'm creeping. My very life is in her keeping. I'm just a prisoner of love. Just a prisoner of love.
Prisoner of Love concludes tonight's program, and once again, I can't thank you all enough for being here. Your continued support and kind comments in the chat room make it all worthwhile. Looking forward to seeing you 2 weeks from tonight. This is Ed Rambeau, and from my little corner of the world to yours, here's wishing you an awesome evening along with an awesome weekend to follow. Now let's return to Mr. Stu Weiss and his wonderful pop shop. Good night with buckets of love, everyone.